500 years ago, a man called Nostradamus wrote almost 1,000 predictions about the future. Many believe he predicted such world events such as the rise and fall of Napoleon and Hitler, the French Revolution, the Great Fire of London, just to name a few. There are others out there who believe the writings of Nostradamus are simply coincidence, or stories of past history, or even so vague that they can be interpreted in any way. Yet his uncanny accuracy has kept his writings alive all these years. So join me as we explore the strange, the supernatural, the psychic predictions of Nostradamus. Hi, I'm Lou, and welcome to the Nostradamus Files. The U.S. 2020 election was unlike any other presidential election. With the COVID pandemic raging, tradition was thrown out the window. Several states mailed out ballots to everyone. Some states even allowed you to vote days after Election Day was over. A strange stopping of the count in the middle of the night, and a man elected president who barely left his basement at his house in Delaware. Was it a fair election? Was it rigged? We'll never really know the whole truth. Did Nostradamus predict Trump, the 2020 election, and the events of January 6th? Let's look at some of his predictions. Shameless, audacious. That's a very good description of Donald Trump. Donald Trump was elected president and commander-in-chief of the United States and its military in 2016. Line 3 says it all, the boldness of his contention. Nobody has ever contested the presidential election as boldly as Donald Trump. And he still does to this day. Faith that the U.S. held fair elections had been broken. In Washington, D.C., tensions grew as it got closer to the certification day on January 6th, 2021. The undersigned is a person who signs a document, such as a certification, and the infamous deliverance, I believe, is a delivery of the most prestigious position in the world today, the presidency of the United States. Now, it's the job of the vice president to certify the electoral votes, which at the time was Vice President Mike Pence. On January 6th, a massive crowd of people gathered outside the Capitol, urging the vice president to not certify the election results, even chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." In Nostradamus' time, kings and queens ruled the world, so he saw leaders as kings or monarchs. Right after January 6th, a chain-link fence was put up around the Capitol. Donald Trump and an angry Mike Pence did not meet until 5 days later. Therefore, shut up in a cage, they will see each other face to face. If we look at line 3 of Nostradamus' original writings, he writes the word Pence. Most scholars interpret this word to be the word thought, because the word thought in French, which was Nostradamus' native language, is spelled P-E-N-S-E. But Nostradamus was a scholar. He wrote P-E-N-C-E, naming the person this prediction was about. The false message, I believe, was the message everyone saw on social media, stating that any claim about election fraud was false. I believe that put enough doubt in people's minds to prevent further escalation. We also know that the FBI paid social media companies to hush the Hunter Biden laptop story. Who knows what other voice was bought? The Capitol, or as Nostradamus saw it, the chapel, was stained with blood on January 6, 2021. Interesting that Nostradamus uses the word contracted in the last line. Voice bought? The empire contracted? It sure sounds to me like it was a sham election. The Republican Senate was overjoyed at Donald Trump's victory over Hillary Clinton in 2016. Many politicians and elites have been trying to get rid of Donald Trump even before he was elected. False Russian collusion, 2 House impeachments, both which were acquitted by the Senate, and 91 charges against him so far. Constant attacks against President Trump are still going on to this day to keep him from returning to the White House. Will they actually succeed? Donald Trump called for his patriots to come on January 6th to protest against the sham election. Well over 1,000 people have been arrested, convicted, and some even jailed at the events of that day. I'm sure many of them had to sell their possessions to pay for lawyers, court fees, and other fines against them. If you look at line 3, Nostradamus uses the French word trompe, which sounds a whole lot like the name Trump. Another Nostradamus clue. The election was a major event in the history of the United States and the world. The events of January 6th still divide the nation today. These 4 predictions definitely describe the events of the U.S. 2020 election. Coincidence? Writings of a madman? Or did Nostradamus actually see the future? Be sure to catch the next episode of the Nostradamus Files, where we'll look at predictions about, you guessed it, Joe Biden. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more predictions of Nostradamus.